Very good morning, children. We completed diversity in living organisms classification. In that classification of living organisms, we learned and different phyla which are present, kingdoms which are present, all the characters with examples we completed. And seventh lesson, animal behavior, and next lesson, sense organs. These are for FAs, your FA. So that we will discuss later. So today we learn about the next lesson, that is challenges in improving agricultural products. Challenges in improving agricultural products. So in the previous classes you learned about the food, the energy source you learned. So if I ask you a question that why do we need energy? You will say that energy is needed to do work. And how do we get energy? Means you will give answer taking food. Is it not? So that food whatever we are eating is going to give us energy. So that energy is needed for us to do any activity. So the functioning of body and the other works what we are carrying are happening, that is because of food we take. And you have some knowledge about food. So different kinds or different varieties of food items we are going to eat, and that food we are eating, or whatever the food items which we are eating, we are getting from the plants and animals. So what are the plant products which we are going to eat? Means different kinds of grains we are eating. Grains we are eating. Then vegetables, fruits. So different grains, vegetables, fruits, etc. we are going to eat. So the grains or vegetables or fruits we are getting from plants. So grains, if you take pulses and cereals. So pulses means all kinds of dals we are eating, red gram, Bengal gram, horse gram, green gram, etc. And cereals, that is major food or staple foods, rice, wheat, jowar, bajra, barley. So different kinds of grains we are consuming. Means different food items which are prepared with this we are going to consume every day. Then in vegetables, different vegetables which you are eating. Then leafy vegetables, leaves we are eating like spinach, amaranth, coriander, all that we are eating. Then vegetables, you know it very well. So different kinds of leafy vegetables and vegetables we are eating, and fruits we are eating. So all these are the products which we are getting from plants. Whereas some people are going to consume the food which we are getting from animals also. So that animal foods, if we take animal foods. So what kind of animal foods we are going to consume? Milk, eggs, meat, fish, etc. Even shrimps and all will come in that. So milk, eggs, meat, fish, etc. we are getting from animals. So these are the different kinds of food items which we are going to consume every day. Is it clear? And you know that in any ecosystem, if we observe, which you read in the previous class, a unit of small unit of nature. So where we observe the different kinds of organisms. So all these organisms, how they are interlinked with each other, means that is through food only they are going to be they are interlinked with each other through food. So that you learnt in the previous class, is it not? So interdependence we are observing in that. So then Now here we are we human beings, we are growing or we are domesticating different kinds of animals. Not only for us, the animals which are domesticated are also needed food. So we have to provide them food, shelter, water, everything to them. Then we get the products from this domesticated animals, and we can whatever the products we are getting, that we can consume as our food. Is it not, children? So like that here, all the organisms are interlinked with each other through food only. So now here some questions are given. We have to estimate how much grains we are going to consume per month. Like so, a family where we are a family consisting of 4 members. Okay, parents and 2 children. So they are going to consume 50 kgs of grains per month and 600 kg per year. And for growing of that much of grains in a year, that is 600 kg grains in a year, what how much area is required of land, means that is said to be 1.4 square kilometers. Okay, so to feed a family consisting of 4 members, that food whichever we have to produce, and how much area is needed for that, means here 1.4 square kilometers. So like that, how many people are there? So population, so how much population is there in our country, and is the land sufficient for the production of food, and what are the problems we are going to face in producing food, grains or food products. So that we are going to discuss in this class. Have you followed? So challenges. So challenges in improving agricultural products. Why we have to learn about that? So if the population is increasing or if the food production is decreasing, then what will happen? So that results in energy crisis. Is it not? So, even this you can observe in your houses also. So like mandi ఎక్కువైతే మజ్జిగ పల్సర్ అవుతుంది అనేసి. So what you can understand with that? So if that 4 members are there in family, we can have curds. Is it not? So suppose if many people are there, what we are going to do? We are going to add water to the curds. Then we will make it majjiga, buttermilk we call it. So then we are going to serve. Means what? The number of people and the food production, they must be in a proper ratios, otherwise it is very difficult. So we cannot provide food to the all people. Is it not? So for that purpose, to bring the needs of people, we have to think of the better ways to produce the food or the food production. So what are the best methods we can use to produce different kinds of food items? So that food items here means food grains or fruits or vegetables or animals which are going to give us milk, meat, eggs. So that must be in a proper ratio. Otherwise we cannot provide food to the people or food to the other organisms which are depending on us. Then that results in death of organisms. Have you followed? And that results in energy crisis. So if we provide food only, we can work, otherwise it is not possible. So that we are going to learn in this class, challenges in improving agricultural products. So here one table is given in your textbook, page number 105. Page number 105, one table is given. So what it is going to make you to understand here? So rate of growth of population and food grain production it is given. Rate of growth of population and food grain production it is given. Okay. So here decades. So 61 to 71. So population growth that is 2.4 and food grain production is 2.83 and ratio between food production and population growth is 1.18. Then 71 to 81, if we take food production is 2.23 and population growth is 2.23 and food grain production is 1.8, and here ratio, see how much it is less, 0.80 it is given. In 1981 to 91, 2.16 population growth it is raised, whereas food production it is increased here 3.13, whereas ratio of food production and population growth it is said to be 1.45. So like that 91 to 2001 also it is given, and the ratio between food production and population growth is 0.56. So like that 2001 to 11, if we take population growth is 1.65 and food production is 1.03 and ratio between population growth and food production is 0.62. So what you can understand with that? So what is that, what kind of relation you are going to observe means population growth and production of food, is it not? So how much food is produced and how much population growth is there. So here some questions have been given. In which decade population growth is higher? So in which decade population growth is very much high? So 71 to 81, the population growth is very much high. Then in which decade food production, food grain production is higher? So that is 81 to 91. Then what major differences did you find in the table? Means food production, the ratio, if we see food production and population growth. So that we are going to observe. So in which decade production of food grains did not satisfy the needs of population? So here in which decade it is very less food production, children. So that is said to be here 91 to 2001. So here 0.56 it is there. So what will happen if the food production is less and population growth is more and more? Means we cannot bring the needs of people related with the food production. So that what will happen means that results in a energy crisis. Energy crisis and mean, so that energy we are going to get, that is only because of food what we are eating. So energy, if it is there only, we can do work. If energy is not there, we cannot work. So that results in severe health problems or other problems will be observed, so that it leads to some problems or it leads to death also. Is it clear to children? So to avoid all those things, what you are going to suggest? So how we can increase the food production? Is it not? So that we have to think. So here increasing food production in proportion to compensate the needs of increasing population, it is a big challenge for our country. So population is increasing every year and area under cultivation it is decreasing because of so many reasons. So the cultivable lands are going to be converted to constructive lands. Is it not? So many areas, if we observe, the agricultural lands are changed to construct buildings. So what will happen? Area under cultivation is decreasing. So because of that, what will happen? The food production will be decreasing. Is it not? So what is going to happen? In that given area only, or the present how much area under cultivation we are observing, that land, in that land only we have to grow crops which brings the needs of population, growing population. Have you followed? So like that here, food, in this lesson we are going to learn about challenges in improving agricultural products. So only human beings are we going to depend on plants for food? It is not there like that. So other animals also. So the animals which we are going to domesticate, like you can take cattle and poultry, birds. So all these organisms are going to depend on us for food. So obviously we have to provide food to them, is it not? So we have to take care of the plants, then animals, which are going to help us in providing food to us. So if we are not taking care of them, or if we are not following proper methods in protecting them, or if we are not following proper methods, then that results in again problems, that is a resulting energy crisis. Is it clear to children? So another example is also given here, the production of a crop. So any crop if you want to grow, so what are the factors needed for growing a crop? So you can say that air, water and sunlight. So here for germinating seeds, what are the conditions? Means air, water, sunlight. So these are the conditions needed for germination of seeds. So only these conditions are enough for growing crops? Means no, it is not there like that. So here soil and type of seeds what we are using, is it not? So only one factor is not going to help in growing the food production. Have you followed? So different factors are needed for increasing the food productivity. So means what? The food production to increase, different factors are needed. So what are the different factors here we are in need to grow the crops? Type of soils, then seeds of best quality, then availability of soil, then land, that is, then water, irrigation methods, okay, and applying of fertilizers. Then so the crops, once if they are grown, they are also going to be getting affected because of insects or pests. So we have to control them, is it not? So if we take care of all these, so we have to see the area under cultivation, then proper seeds must be used for getting good yield of crop, then proper irrigation facilities we have to provide, then manuring, then taking care of the crops against insects or pests which are causing harm to the crops. So if we take all these things into consideration, then only the food production will be increased. Otherwise it is not possible. Means one factor alone it is not helping the crops to grow. So the production of crop always depends upon all other factors whatever we discussed. Means proper irrigation, then type of soils which we are using, then what is that, manuring. So taking care of the crops, all are needed to increase the food production. Is it clear to children? So then it is proved by scientists conducting many experiments. So different factors are needed to increase the food production. So here one important process is given here. So in the table number 2, what it is given here? So here time of planting, then density of planting, weeding, nutrient application, like that here it is given. So time of planting, then density of planting and weeding and nutrient application, like that it is given, children. So what we are going to learn with that? So so here all these factors are influencing the growth in increasing the food production. Have you followed? So if you are not taking care of those factors, then the food production will be reduced. So now that one we will learn now. Time of planting, production, that is kg per hectare, and gain, how much gain it is there, that is also kg per hectare. So here first one, a month after the onset of rains. So what? How much production of grain we got? 3,400 kg per hectare. Whereas in that immediately after the onset of rains, that is 5,830. So again we will write, we will discuss later how much it is there. So here a month after the onset of rains. So usually farmers are growing crops in two seasons, Kharif and Rabi. So in Kharif season, immediately after the rains starts, after the rain starts means what? So in the rainy season, the farmers are going to grow the crops. Is it clear? So after the rainy season is over, when the have you observed any time that farmers are growing crops? So no, it is not there like that. But here it is given. So a month after the onset of rains. Okay. So how much production of grain we got? 3,400 kgs per hectare the farmers got. So immediately after the onset of rains, so how much production was observed here? That is 5,830. So what is the gain here? 2,430 kg per hectare. So that much gain we observed. Means what here? As you know that availability of water is very important for the growing of crops. So the what is that? Growing of crops must be started in the rainy season. Have you followed, children? Immediately after the onset of rains, in the month of June, July, the growing of crops must be started. Otherwise, the less yield we are going to observe, because availability of water, it is going to be decreasing. Why? Because in rainy season more rains we observe. Have you followed? Then density of planting. Next one, density of planting. So here plants per hectare. Plants per hectare. Plants per hectare, that is 39,600, and plants per hectare here 19,800. So now production, how much production it is there? Suppose if more number of plants are grown in a hectare land, that is 39,600 plants if we are growing, then what is the production here? 4,100. Okay, and when we observe the plants in that hectare land grown said to be 19,800. So here the gain production is said to be 5,200 kg per hectare. So what is the gain here? 1,100. gain is there. Means what? See, more and more in a small area, unit area. So we have to see that area, how much plants can be grown. Is it not? In that area only, a given area, square kilometer area, if you are growing more and more number of plants, so obviously there will be a severe competition of plants for space, so that what will happen, some of the plants are going to be dying. So that impacts the yield of the crop. The crop yield will be reduced. Is it clear to you? So here, just like in your class also, two students comfortably you can sit in a bench. Is it not? Suppose if I ask one student to sit, three students I will make to sit together. So okay, you can sit. Suppose if I ask 4 or 5 children in a bench, what is going to happen? So the space is not sufficient for the number of people, how many I made you to sit. So you can fill this side or that side. Some inconvenience you are going to face. You can't able to write properly. Is it not, children? So because of that space is not sufficient. So more number of plants when we are growing in that particular area, then severe competition will be there for space. So that results in less yield. But if the number of plants which are grown is lesser, then we observe more and more production. So what is the gain here? Means 1100 kg per hectare gain we are observing. So here the density of planting always is taken into consideration to increase the yield of the crop. Have you followed? So how many plants can be grown? That must be taken into consideration. Is it clear to you? Of the given area. Is it clear to you? Then next one, another factor we are going to take into consideration, that is said to be weeding. Weeding. So what do you mean by weeding? So you know that weeds. What are weeds? So weeds are said to be unwanted plants which are growing along with crop plants. Okay. So for example, I am growing paddy in my field, or in your field you are growing paddy. So other than paddy, any plants when we are observing, then they are called as weeds. So weeds are said to be unwanted plants which grow along with the crop plants. So why we have to remove the weeds? So removal of weeds is called as weeding. Why should we remove the weeds? Means weeds are wild plants and weeds are very much competing with the crop plants for space, then water or the nutrients, whatever we are providing to the crop plants. Have you followed? So all these will be shared by weed plants. They grow very much faster than the crop plants. So then that impacts the reduction of yield in the crop. Have you followed, children? So that's why weeding is very much essential. We have to remove the weeds. So weeds are unwanted plants which are going to be seen along with the crop plants, and they are going to compete with the crop plants for food or the nutrients or space, water, whatever we are going to provide. So that's why here weeding, when it is done once in a year, or what kind of gain we are going to get, and when we are doing weeding twice in a year, then what will happen? So that we will see. So once if we remove the weeds, once, so here how much we got production? That is said to be 4040 kg per hectare we got. Is it clear? Then twice if we remove the weeds, how much we are going to get here? 5200 kg per hectare. So weeding we have done once, then we got 4040 kg per hectare. Suppose if we remove the weeds twice in that season, then 5200 kg per hectare we got. So what is the gain here? What is the gain here? We are going to get 1160 kg per hectare. Have you followed, children? Why? Because we removed the weeds. We have taken care of the croplands by removing weeds so that there is no competition. Okay, so the crop plants are making use of water which the farmer provided, or the nutrient supply, everything is distributed among the crop plants only, so that the yield will be increased. Is it clear to you? So this factor also will be taken into consideration to increase the production of food grain. Have you followed? Then coming to the next factor, applying manure. Applying manure, that we will discuss. So manures, you learned in the previous class, manures or fertilizers. So we are adding fertilizers or manures to the crop fields. So what will happen if these manures are added? Means they increase the soil fertility, soil health is maintained. Have you followed? So that soil health, if it is maintained, that results in the good yield of the crop. Is it clear? So that what will happen? Crop whichever is produced, it is sufficient for all the people. Is it clear? So that's why here manure is very, very important. Nutrients supply is very, very important. Why? So continuously when the farmers are growing crops, continuously, what will happen means the land is getting exhausted with the nutrients, so that shows impact on the growth of the crop. Have you followed? Or yield of the crop. So yield of the crop will be reduced when the nutrients are exhausted. Then to make that soil more and more fertile, the farmer is going to add fertilizers. Okay, or nutrient supplement or nutrients are added to the fields, so that the soil is enriched with the nutrients. Then that nutrients are used by the crops, then the yield will be increased. So here nutrient application we will learn. Now nutrient application. So in that here, without phosphorus, without phosphorus we got 4,570 kg per hectare. So when 56 kg of phosphorus when it is added, what will happen? 4,660. 4,660. Have you followed? So you know that important nutrients for the crops, nitrogen, phosphorus, they are very much essential. Sulfur, all these are very, very important for the increasing crop production. So here phosphorus, when it is not added in the field, so the farmer got 4,570 kg per hectare. So here when phosphorus is not added to the field, so they got 4,570 kg per hectare. So 50 kg of phosphorus when it is added to the land, then gain is there. Here 4,660 kg per hectare the farmer got. So what is the gain here? Means 90 kg per hectare. The grain is production is increased. Like that nitrogen. Nitrogen is also very, very important nutrient for the growth of plants here. So without nitrogen, so how much the farmer got? Means 4,320 kg per hectare, and 78 kg of nitrogen when it is added. So what will be the gain? Means 4,500. 4,500. sorry, 4,900 kg per hectare the farmer got. So what is the gain means 580 kg per hectare gain. It is observed. Children. So here what this table is going to make you to understand means here the crop production always increases when proper care of crops is taken. Means the farmer has to grow the crops immediately on the onset of rainy season, and density of planting is also taken into consideration, and applying of nutrients is taken into consideration to increase the yield of the crop. Is it clear to you? So like that, the factors are very much important for the food production like water, then applying of manures, protecting the crops from insect or pest attacks, and soil, all will be taken into consideration to increase the crop. So in tomorrow's class we will discuss about the how to increase the food production.